Atlantic 10 and won after moving to the Big East. Mack was in his fourth year at Louisville, won 44 games over his first two seasons, but last year the team was just 13-7, missed the NCAA tournament. They're only 11-9 this year, and he was also suspended at the beginning of the season, going back to an investigation that brought out recruiting violations that occurred with assistant coach Dino Gaudio, who was fired. Associate head coach Mike Pegas will take over in the interim. According to Joe Lunardi of ESPN's latest Bracketology, he has Auburn as the number one overall seed, Arkansas as the first team out, Florida is the last team in. The last four byes, which are the last four teams that will not have to play in a first four game, he has TCU, Miami, North Carolina, and St. Mary's. The last four in, which are the four teams that would be playing in the first four, Oregon, San Diego State, San Francisco, and Florida. First four are out, so the first four teams missing the tournament: Arkansas, Mississippi State, Michigan, and Wyoming. The next four after that: Kansas State, Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, and Cincinnati. His one seeds are Auburn, Arizona, Gonzaga, and Baylor. Big 12 leads the way with 8 teams. Big 10 and Big East have 7. The SEC has 6. And then there are obviously other conferences involved there. The latest basketball AP poll, Auburn has jumped up to the number one ranking for the first time in program history. And the Tigers don't really have any big tests the rest of the way until they hosted the number 18 Tennessee on February 26th, and that is the only ranked opponent they have left on their schedule. The rest of the top 10 is Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Kansas, Purdue, Houston, UCLA, Duke, and Michigan State. Biggest risers, Tennessee moves up 6 spots to 18. Michigan State moves up 4 spots to 10, although they're probably about to move back down after a loss to Illinois. And UConn moves up 5 spots to 20. Illinois drops 7 spots to 24. Iowa State 8 spots to 23. And LSU is down 6 spots to 19. Davidson and Marquette both joined the poll for the first time this year, although Davidson just lost and will probably be out. Loyola and Texas have dropped out of the poll. And like I said, Davidson lost, Michigan State lost, Arizona lost, and Xavier lost. So next week, look for those teams to drop in the poll. Some of them might just be slightly. Davidson probably not going to be in the poll next week. Last thing I'll touch on, we previously discussed on an episode a few weeks ago about the reboot of the USFL, and 4 of their 8 coaches that had been announced. We talked about Kevin Sumlin for the Houston Gamblers, Mike Riley for the New Jersey Generals, Todd Haley for the Tampa Bay Bandits, and Bart Andrews for the Philadelphia Stars. The remaining 4 head coaches have been announced. Skip Holtz will be coaching the Birmingham Stallions, Kirby Wilson, the Pittsburgh Maulers, Larry Fedora, the New Orleans Breakers, and Jeff Fisher gets the Michigan Panthers. Holtz is the son of legendary Notre Dame and South Carolina head coach Lou Holtz and has carved out a pretty successful career of his own in the college ranks. He has held 3 different head coaching jobs and has a career record of 152 wins and 121 losses. Wilson has been coaching since 1985, but has never been a head coach. He's been mostly a running backs coach. He has won Super Bowls with Tampa Bay in the early 2000s and with Pittsburgh, and most recently served as the running backs coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Fedora is a former college head coach at North Carolina and Southern Miss and has an extensive background as an offensive coordinator. He's been a part of offensive staffs at Baylor, Air Force, Middle Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma State, and Texas throughout his career. Fisher is probably the most notable name on this list. Big success as a head coach from 1995 to 2010 with the Titans. Only won 2 division titles during the time, made a couple runs in the playoffs, lost Super Bowl 34 to the Rams, and then after he was with the Titans, the Rams actually hired Fisher in 2012, but he only lasted until 2016. He is kind of known for mediocrity in terms of wins and losses. He has a career .510 winning percentage, which means he wins about 51% of his games. But from an experience standpoint, it certainly fits that he would be tabbed for this league. That's going to do it for this edition of the Travis on Sports podcast. Be sure to keep up with the show on our Facebook and Twitter pages or wherever you listen to the show. Thanks again for listening, and please like and subscribe, and I will be back with a new episode next week.